So what is neuro-linguistic programming? Neuro-linguistic programming says the neurons in our brain are affected by the language that we use, our linguistics, which is also affected by our programming, our past history, and how our brain is wired to experience the world. So NLP has also been called the user's guide to the brain. And rather than talk about conceptually, it can be even more useful to just take you on a short exercise of neuro-linguistic programming and see how it works. So go ahead and imagine a bowl of chips out in front of you. It can be your favorite chips, and I want you to notice that image of the bowl of chips. Is it in color? Is it in 3 dimensions? I want you to notice if that bowl of chips were in front of you now, how compelling would it be to eat them? Scale of 1 to 10, 10 being high, and get a number. Okay? And now, notice if you make that picture bigger, is the bowl of chips more compelling or less compelling? Put it back to its original size. And notice if you make the colors brighter and more vivid, is it more compelling or less compelling? So we call these submodalities. These are qualities of the sensory information that our mind is creating internally to picture or imagine the chips. And we can utilize this inner brain coding system to either create different thoughts, feelings about what we want or how we want to perceive something, which then changes how we relate to it and the behaviors that we make. So back to the bowl of chips, make it regular size. And now notice, imagine draining all the color out, all the color until it goes gray and black and white. Notice, is it more compelling or less compelling? Most people notice that letting go of the color and making it black and white is less compelling. So you can use this for foods that you crave, like that like, oh, I don't really need that because of the craving, right? You can change it. So now just turn it back to regular size, and now just imagine eating that chip. And you start crunching it, you notice the crunch, and then something's wrong. There's sand in the chips. Oh, it's too gritty, spit it out. Ugh. So now I'm looking at the bowl of chips. Is it more compelling or less compelling? Probably less compelling. And now just shrinking that image, turning it back to black and white, more compelling, less compelling. Noticing that, and now send it out away from you, 10 feet away from you. More compelling or less compelling? All right, now just sending it into the room, outside of you. Sending it to the outside room, notice how that changes. So what we did in this short exercise, you were starting to play with what we call submodalities. These are the inner coding system of how we represent the world. So we represent everything externally, we also imagine it internally, and we create this inner representation of these things. And we can change if we have a craving, say chips or compelling, we can change these submodalities to make things less compelling, that we can find a little bit of traction. Now, we don't want to do food aversion. We want to really enjoy food, so that's why we just did a little bit of sand and didn't make it really gross. But understanding that our brain is actually taking information in through our 5 sensory channels, but not only that, how we relate to the world around us is coded internally. It's coded by how we think, how we feel, by our past programming, decisions we've made about life or about ourselves through time. And we can actually tap in, update that coding system, and help the brain come out with better responses, the responses that we want it to do for us, rather than the default responses that it's been running. So if you're interested in the next training, click the link below. or feel free to book a free consult. I'm happy to talk with you about how you can utilize these skills both in your personal life and your professional life. So many applications, from healthy lifestyle to motivation to communication to our relationships to understanding people. So many different ways that we can use these skills, and you'll find tools and resources that you can start using right away. So I'd love to talk to you. If you have questions about neuro-linguistic programming, click the link below and I'll talk with you soon.